As a soldier in Iraq, Lee Ellis was tragically...
Before the action gets underway here at the JJB this evening, there will be a minute's silence for a former Wigan apprentice killed by a roadside bomb last week in Iraq. Paratrooper Lee Ellis was just 23.
Both sets of supporters to observe a period of silence to honour the memory of a hero. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Ellis.
Lee Ellis, a former goalkeeping apprentice here at Wigan Athletic. The action about to get underway. Let's join our commentators, Alan Smith and Ian Dark.
Well, Wigan feel that this is exactly the fixture that they want to get themselves back into gear, surprisingly. 4-0 defeat 8 days ago against Manchester United, but the players really up for this, and they're determined, Wigan, not to let their season tail off. But the one miracle they haven't been able to perform so far is a win over United. Ruud van Nistelrooy on the bench again. Sure to fire some renewed speculation about his future. But you can't really argue. Louis Saha's scored in his last 7 starts, and Wayne Rooney scored 4 in 2 games against Wigan this season. They are the partnership in form. And Sir Alex Ferguson, as ever, not frightened to make the big decision, no matter how big the names involved. United full of goals as well recently. Chimbonda just about gets it back to John Phelan.
Well, the one thing that they weren't in Cardiff was defensively solid and resolute. That's something that Paul Gill for certain will want to get back to tonight very quickly indeed.
Shana with the header. He's been put back in the defence tonight just to add a little bit more pace. Perhaps the lack of pace with Ancho and Desai was just exploited a little by the pacey Rooney and Saha in Cardiff.
There's been some signing, hasn't he? He's played up front, scored a goal on his debut, played in midfield, really puts himself about. Great taste for the competition, settled into the Premiership very quickly indeed.
Gary Neville lifted his first trophy as United captain in Cardiff last week, his 11th in all for the club. Sylvestre, first touch rather let him down, but the situation is recovered. By the way, this pitch has been largely relayed since the last game on it. I've had to do that a couple of times this season. This is the local cult figure, Chimbonda. Back to Kavanagh, the midfield playmaker. That's a long ball which Edwin van der Sar was just caught in 2 minds for a moment about.
It's going to be a test for Gary Neville there on the right-back slot up against Lee McCulloch, who's got a couple of inches advantage in height on him, and I think they might just try and hit that diagonal ball right to left over to McCulloch. Nod one forward for the 2 strikers.
This is the Austrian Shana. Up towards Roberts, it nearly fell for McCulloch, who will be a muscular presence. Lee McCulloch, he's had a troubled time with injury, but he got 14 in the Championship last year.
Well, he's always willing to get in there because he's a centre-forward by trade. Really just doing a job on the left-hand side. Done it for most of this season, though.
Jimmy Bullard. And Kavanagh back to Chimbonda. Wigan, who can go level with 6th place Blackburn Rovers should they win this tonight. They'll be hoping it's one of those mad March days when the form book is thrown out of the window. O'Shea won the ball well for Manchester United. United have banged in 10 goals in their last 3 games in the league. McCulloch putting Ferdinand under some pressure. Now picked up by Camara.
You can normally tell with Wigan in the first 5 minutes how they're going to play in the game, how they start, the tempo that they start at, and they're really trying to keep up the pace here. Opening a couple of minutes, get the ball fizzing around the park. Put that United back 4 under pressure early doors.
I suppose a lot of teams who'd conceded 8 goals in 2 games against this opposition might have flirted with the idea of going 4-5-1 tonight. Not a bit of it, though, for Paul Jewell. He just believes he doesn't have the players to do that kind of thing. Not regularly, anyway. That's De Zeeuw's challenge, just letting Cristiano Ronaldo know he was around. And Steve Bennett may take a stern view of it.
Well, it's his first tackle, De Zeeuw, but it was one of those where he's gone to ground into the back of the player. No real surprise that the yellow card is produced. I think De Zeeuw thought Ronaldo made a little bit more of this and was necessary, but you can see he catches him square. 2-footed in and right on the touchline. Very similar to that Arjen Robben one on Jonathan Green in at the Hawthorns on Saturday.
The dangerous left foot of Ryan Giggs to swing this towards the back post. The landsman's flag went up.
Well, they're getting into Ronaldo again, saying that he's gone to ground too easily. Linesman's flag for offside as the ball originally came in. It was Ronaldo that had crept in behind and came back from that offside position. He's got a bump in the back. Maybe not enough to see him fall to the deck. He's inches offside, if anything, isn't he? It was Ronaldo that the flag's gone up for.
Won by Kavanagh. Wigan, you sense, just looking to be a bit more competitive all over the pitch, get a bit closer to Manchester United. It was very, very open in Cardiff.
Yeah, you can just feel an edge to this game straight away, you know. A few words spoken between players. Their pride would have been hurt. Well, that mauling in Cardiff didn't do themselves justice. Seemed intent to put that right tonight.
Sahar pleading with Steve Bennett as the decision goes Wigan's way. Steve Bennett, who had a bit of a run-in, didn't he, with Sir Alex Ferguson after the Manchester derby. He said he'd need an escort to get out of the ground, didn't he, Sir Alex, after Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off in that match. McCulloch. Roberts lays it wide. Leighton Baines couldn't get the elevation he needed onto his cross. Ferdinand gets it away. Baines raiding down this left-hand side. And it'll be a goal kick.
Well, it was at the best when they are getting the full-backs forward, and that's Baines. On the other side, Chimbonda's done something similar. This is the challenge from De Zeeuw. Unnecessary, really. He's got him cornered on the touchline. It's a really dangerous challenge. No complaints about the yellow. On another day, you know, if that tackle hadn't gone in so early, it might just have been a red.
That would have been De Zeeuw's, so it was, his 5th yellow of the season. Normally, of course, that would be a ban, but the amnesty kicked in on February the 28th, so just got a warning from the FA now. Rooney. Ronaldo's got a lot of room out here. In towards Park. Wigan had their noses rubbed in it by Manchester United a couple of times this season. Determined this time it might be different. Good ball that from Camara. Teal with a chance on the back post. And he couldn't finish it.
Well, Steve Bennett, I'm sure there was a real old tussle between Jason Roberts and Rio Ferdinand at the start of that move, and Jason Roberts was the innocent party. It was Ferdinand that was tugging the striker back, and Steve Bennett had a good look at it before he let play go on. Do think that Ferdinand is a little bit fortunate here, because Roberts shows his good body strength to turn his man. It's a good ball through though, and I just think this ball maybe is bobbling along the turf and it doesn't help Gary Teal as it's coming towards him. You can see the ball never quite gets the body shape right. Rio knows he's beaten, and there's the arm back. Can't quite understand why he didn't get penalised for that.
Very presentable opportunity though for Wigan Athletic early on.
Well, it's certainly worth letting the play go on.
You're right about the bobble, Alan. It seemed to catch his shin in the end, Teal. Neville. In towards Rooney.
Good start though, isn't it? Good open game. Both sides going for it.
This is Ji-sung Park. Sahar couldn't quite control it. There might be one or two difficult bounces on this new turf that's laid down.
I was just watching him warm up, and once or twice the ball landed on the joint, as it were, and it took a dodgy old bounce.
Jimmy Bullard. Teal lays it back. Chimbonda. Roberts putting himself about in there. It might be a real old battle between him and Rio Ferdinand and Wes Brown.
Yeah, we might see a few of those kind of challenges. It might not be the easiest games to referee. Steve Bennett tonight judged a little shove in the back on Wes Brown. No, I didn't appear to be too much there on that view.
Park. Deep push there by Chimbonda, it looks like it. Free kick to United. They want to take it quickly as well.
Well, Ryan Giggs did, but none of his teammates really were willing to receive it. They were just walking away with their backs to the ball.
And Cristiano Ronaldo scored 5 times in the last 4 matches, including one in the final. Might fancy this for a bit of a pop. And he's good from out here as well. It is Ronaldo. Oh! Like a firecracker, it just dipped over the bar in the end.
Yeah, he got some real whip on it. And I think he's just trying to kid the keeper that he's going to try and find that near post, and he might have been trying. John Filan got a good view of it in the end. I've seen him score a couple this season where the ball's moved all over the place. Didn't really on that occasion.
Roberts looks to help it on then. Camera right here for Teal, the Scottish winger who made his debut as a substitute for Scotland last week. A proud moment for him after years of playing lower division football. Henri Camera takes advantage, it deflects across the goal, and Manchester United are glad to see that go out of play.
No, you certainly don't want to see your full-back losing it in that kind of position and giving Wigan a chance to whip one across the face of goal. Deflection from Wes Brown, give Rio Ferdinand the problem.
Here's the Wigan corner. They really look at it, as the pros like to say, Wigan Athletic here.
The start's produced a really good atmosphere as well from the JJB, carried right behind the home side.
This one of 42 derbies in the Northwest this season, and 6 of the 7 teams from the Northwest are in the top half of the table as well. The lowest is Everton in 12th place. McCulloch, nice bit of trickery from him. Bullard. Fast pace about the game. Rooney looking to break through. Sharna was in the way. Sylvestre sliding in.
surface, it's got a bit of zip to it. Player sliding in and they're carrying on for a couple of yards. Enjoyable surface really to play on. Got a good pace to your play.
Wigan haven't won at home here in the Premiership since Boxing Day. This time Wes Brown doing the covering. Seems to be settled now as Rio Ferdinand's partner in the centre of defence. That's the preferred partnership.
They've had their hands full, you sense, the way that Jason Roberts and Henri Camara have started off. They mean business. They've been right on the end of things up until now, using the pace and strength.
Here's Baines. Whipped in with pace. Teal! Couldn't keep it down.
More difficult one than his first chance. Gary Teal. It's a good ball in from Baines and just makes a little dash. He's stretching all the time. I think it comes off his toe in the end. Teal can't direct it goalwards. All good signs though from Wigan, getting the service in from those wide areas.
Gary Teal hasn't scored at the JJB for the last 3 years. Here's Ronaldo. A lot of Wigan players pressing him. Bullard. Very high energy, high tempo, high commitment game being played by Wigan Athletic.
This is where Silvestre, his touch is just a little bit heavy and it puts his teammates on the back foot. The deflection off Wes Brown does give Rio Ferdinand a problem. I think he does try and get a touch to it. Luckily for him, he doesn't get one.
Pascal Chimbonda. Kavanagh. Now Roberts. Kavanagh again. McCulloch, who was good in the air, was closing in on the back post, but Edwin van der Sar was there, safe as houses.
Gary Neville did a good job tracking back Lee McCulloch if the ball had come that far. That's what you need though, 6'5" keeper coming in, taking it cleanly.
Sharma couldn't reach it. Rooney. Foot was up. Could have had a hat-trick, couldn't he, in the Carling Cup final easily, Wayne Rooney.
It's been a lively old start, but Wayne hasn't gone the ball too much just yet. Always an ominous sign.
He'd actually gone 12 without a goal as well until hitting 2 in that final. Jason Roberts, back to Jimmy Bullard. Well, he scored a cracker here, didn't he, against Arsenal earlier on in the season, and was looking for one against another of the big name sides. Deseu wins the header. Roberts. A lot of pace up front. That's what's helped Wigan to so many victories this season, 12 in all. A lot of defences have really struggled against the pace of Henri Camara and Jason Roberts.
He's annoyed with himself, Gary Neville. Miskicked it, I think he's just trying to nudge it back to his keeper. Whether it took a bobble, I don't know. He's put his side under pressure again.
Here's the corner. Headed back by Deseu, then Camara, and then Roberts, who said he had to score. And Van der Sar held that right on the line, a foot either side of him and a little more power, and Wigan had to be ahead.
Well, it's one of those where you think you're going to get clattered any minute and you don't think you've got the space and the time that you actually have. He could have just twisted and turned and got a lot more power than he did. Competed really well for that corner though. Deseu at the far post causing all sorts of problems with the nod back, and Camara's second header into his strike partner rises really well. I just think you're going to get a whack at that point. Doesn't quite get the contact. He knows when he turns round, if only.
Sylvestre. Henri Camara to Jason Roberts again. Ferdinand just gets it away, but this is an uncomfortable opening for Manchester United, but still no breakthrough for Wigan on the back of all this. This is Zaha. Lovely play from him, taken out of it by Kavanagh. And it's a yellow card for his first offence of the game.
Well, you guys feel some sympathy. De Gea, yeah, that warranted one, but that's just mistimed. It was clever play, quick feet from Louis Zaha. He's going for the ball, Kavanagh, and it is his first foul.
Steve Bennett is the referee with the most red cards given this season.
Well, you dish out yellows early doors, and you're likely to dish out another one, aren't you, to the same player later on in the game.
Is it going to be another Cristiano Ronaldo special? Ryan Giggs is interested as well. Might be a bit more suited to his left foot from this kind of angle, but no, it is Ronaldo.
Well, that's a more disappointing effort, not to get it on target, not to make the keeper work, trying something a little bit intricate. Not sure what, he was never going to beat John Filan on that left-hand post.
Henri Camara becomes the subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Just press the red button. Recently disciplined by the club after coming home a little later than the manager expected from the African Cup of Nations.
You can see why Paul Jewell's upset, because Camara and Jason Roberts have shown already that when they're in this kind of mood, they're as big a handful as any strike force in the Premiership.
Chimbonda helps it forward to Roberts. This is John O'Shea. Rooney, nice little layoff to Ronaldo. He's got Gary Neville on the overlap. Rooney's gone near post here, lets it run. Came off Kavanagh, ought to be the goalkeepers, and he's punched it for a corner.
Oh, Wayne Rooney's done well there to make the keeper come out, not make it easy for him to catch it cleanly. Hit the ball, not that end. First time Gary Neville's really overlapped and got a cross in. Rooney jumping his height. The elbow catches John Filan. He has a little word with Rooney afterwards.
Giggs with the corner here for Manchester United. Easy for Filan. He'll look for a quick break here if he can get the throw right. Camara's on the chase here, but Van der Sar was easily going to be the winner. A misheader by Ariane Tezeu. This is Lee McCulloch. Teal just put under a bit of pressure. There wasn't quite enough pace on the pass from McCulloch. Roberts. Back to Chimbonda. Too near the keeper. Zaha was looking to turn Shana, the Mozart-loving central defender, with a penchant for classical music. Baines got in a spot of bother here. Rooney has picked it up. They're so good at picking out the right last ball, Manchester United. They have been very clinical lately in their attacking work. Not so that time. Neville. Ji-sung Park. Rooney. And away by Chimbonda. Now John O'Shea picks it up just back for the final after a spell out with broken ribs, John O'Shea. Sylvestre. This is Camara. Really good contest so far. Bullard. is Chimbonda. Chimbonda again. Now Bullard. Teal. Not the cross Chimbonda would have hoped for, but he might get another crack.
I've seen plenty of the ball in that middle ground. Wigan. Manchester United's midfield has just sat off.
Rooney's pass. It's a good challenge by McCarthy. Now Baines. Henri Camara. Now Gary Teal. It's good defending by Ferdinand. Got to it first. But United with plenty of defending to do in this opening phase. High intensity from the home side.
Just got to try and be a little bit more clinical with that final ball. Wigan, they've got the ball out wide more than once. Cross hasn't been quite right. Made it too easier for Van der Sar.
Rooney inside to Cristiano Ronaldo. Back to Rooney. Lovely move so far. Sahar, just too much pace on it from Rooney. Sahar again. But it seemed there as if Wigan's defence had been uncorked.
No, it seemed to part like the Red Sea, didn't it? You put your house on Wayne Rooney there, pulling the trigger, and if he didn't, at least getting the pass right.
Sylvestre into Cristiano Ronaldo. Wigan get away with it a bit there. I think if that ball from Rooney had had the right pace on it, Sahar was in, and in the scoring form that he's been in lately, you would have fancied him strongly to finish it off.
Yeah, it was a really nice move. A little bit too easy, to be fair, from Wigan's point of view. A good interchange of passing. And once Rooney gets in this position, he can see the goal. He can also see Sahar. Some selfish play.
Gary Neville this time. It was away by Shana. Just beginning to turn up the heat a little, you feel, United. McCulloch does well in the end. Very unlike Wayne Rooney, this usually so ruthless with the last ball anywhere near goal.
Well, you can see it going over in his mind. He's just thinking, oh, should I have shot? Should I have got that pass right? By his standards, it was a poor one. Too much weight on it. He's just trying to roll it into the path of Louis Sahar, give him a shot first time. Let's see what he thinks of it.
United do not usually let teams get away when they've created that kind of opening. Meanwhile, here's Chimbonda. Kavanagh. This is McCulloch. Fancies a dip. It bounced awkwardly, but it was always going wide.
Well, that one did swerve a little bit. There was a danger that it might have taken a deflection off Rio Ferdinand. He zips past the defender, he just gets out of the way a little bit. He's unsighted, I think, Van der Sar, causing him to scramble across goal. He's got it covered.
Lee McCulloch, who scored the first ever goal of Paul Jules' reign 5 years ago in a draw against Brentford. In fact, 6 of the starting lineup tonight played in the third tier when Wigan were playing at that level. Back in 1976, on this very day, they were playing Gainsborough Trinity in the Northern Premier League. And Dave Whelan, I think the first crowd when he was chairman was about 1,500 for a game against Hartlepool. What a story it's been. free kick for that challenge on Gary Neville.
Well, you're right, they are just feeling the way into this game now. United seeing much more of the ball in these kind of areas.
This is Cristiano Ronaldo. Good trick. Sahar couldn't quite get ahead of Kavanagh on the near post. Ronaldo again, but offside. Wigan pushed up well there.
He didn't appear to want to come back and get the ball off Gary Neville. And when he did, the ball in was just a little bit too early.
Rio Ferdinand's booming header. It's a hard-working effort so far from Wigan, but Manchester United just in pretty decent form at the moment. Of course, normally this week they'd be in some plush continental hotel getting ready for a Champions League match, but of course out of the Champions League, out of the FA Cup, they do have one trophy in the bag, and they definitely want to finish above their great rivals Liverpool and finish second and get automatic qualification for next year's Champions League. If they win this, they'll be in a pretty handy position of a couple of points ahead of Liverpool and still a game in hand of them. Bullard's free kick. Chimbonda there on the back post. He's scored with a couple of headers as well this season, Pascal Chimbonda.
Just wanted to make sure everybody was in position. You saw McCulloch telling him to calm down, Jimmy Bullard not hitting him too early. Asking a lot of Chimbonda to get above Silvestre there.
Cristiano Ronaldo, the subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers. You can close in on him by pressing the red button. Giggs to Rooney. Ooh, pressure there on Sharner. He got enough on his back pass from an awkward position, just as well really for Wigan. 8 in 2 games for United against Wigan this season. None so far in the opening half an hour tonight. Different kind of game really though. Bullard. Sharner. Roberts. Camera tried to dig one out from under his feet. Brown was able to block it. Chimbonda. O'Shea's back there defending. Good covering in that Manchester United defence.
Yeah, defending pretty well now. Shaky first 10 minutes or so, and they get caught cold, but they've organised themselves, got themselves together. Plenty of experience in that United back line. Tells the story of Wigan's dominance, particularly in the early stages when they're piling forward. United yet to get one on target. It's only a matter of time, you think.
Ronaldo did well to win that ahead of Leighton Baines. Play on, says the referee.
Doesn't always get the benefit, does he? I think sometimes his reputation goes before him, Ronaldo. He's not going to help himself having a go at the ref because he's wanting to produce a yellow card, Steve Bennett.
Well, the referees have got a job, haven't they, to find out the difference between fact and fiction with a lot of these falls at the moment.
Well, that's exactly right. If you cry wolf too many times. Did look a foul, to be fair to Ronaldo.
You don't have to be Reese Witherspoon or Philip Seymour Hoffman to get an Oscar, it seems these days. There have been 1 or 2 nominations from the Premiership this year. Roberts on the chase here. Van der Sar came, and if Roberts had got there first, the little lob over the goalkeeper would have been on, but Wes Brown did a very good job.
Yeah, he did. He's a real defender, Wes Brown. Had to use his pace here and his strength. They haven't had a lot of one-on-ones. The Wigan attackers had one there. Brown did the job.
Bazeo and Shana up from the back here for Wigan.
Doing a good job there, isn't he? Van der Sar collected a few of those.
Ronaldo to Park, something on maybe for Manchester United here. Rooney's waiting in space on the left-hand side. And Ronaldo's ball has put Park under a spot of pressure, but he's got it. Now O'Shea. Chip towards Ronaldo, but he's offside. Got some space here. Camera, space and pace. Invited to shoot, takes a deflection, corner kick. Here's Bullard, real cut and thrust about this. Camera, now Teal. Chimbonda, laid down, Camera with the shot, and it whistles about a foot wide. So close there, Henri Camera to giving Wigan the lead.
Well, it was a good chance. It was a great chance, and he does the first part really well with his first touch. Henri Camera had zipped into him, he has to react quickly, and he swings the left peg and not too far off at all. But go through Ferdinand's legs, slices it slightly, leaning back. Unlucky, had to take it so quickly.
He's on 8 for the season, Henri Camera, and he may feel he could have added to that there.
You're not going to get too many of those kind of chances, you think, against Ferdinand and Wes Brown.
The Wigan fans creating a wonderful atmosphere at the JJB as well tonight. Just get the impression, don't you, that Paul Jewell's team talk was, let's not be a soft touch, let's not go for another 4 here.
Yeah, I think he's had to earn his money this week, getting the boys up again, but yeah, come a couple of days before this match, they'd have done it themselves. You've got the professional pride at stake, and you see the way they've come out of the traps, that they've been determined not to get rolled over.
Just a little danger with Wigan after their great start to the season, where they won 7 of their first 10 games, that they've been going off the boil a little. Only 6 points from the last 24 available. 7 without a win all competitions. Coming up this week, don't forget, Sky brings you great action from the Champions League. What a game. Arsenal against Real Madrid. It all starts, our coverage, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 on Wednesday. And on Sky Sports 2, Liverpool against Benfica. You really are spoiled for choice. Park. Made it straight to Chimbonda. Getting a run in the side, though, the South Korean at the moment. McCulloch just a bit too much on it there as Camera looked to break into the space.
No, it wasn't an easy one. The ball's coming towards him, he's coming towards the ball to get the right weight on it. A bit tricky for McCulloch. Good chance, though, because Camera was in a bit of space.
Just get the impression, though, don't you, Alan, with Manchester United, that there's always going to be a goal or 2 in them. They're averaging 2 a game right the way through the league season.
They do look menacing on the counter-attack, don't they? When Wigan have pushed a few men up and they get the ball and break. So quick and inventive. They get a bit of space.
Yeah, the best guess would be that Wigan will have to score somewhere along the line to get anything out of this game, but let's see how it develops. Here's Sahar. Brown for United. Sir Alex Ferguson, by the way, warning in the last few days that Chelsea could be dominant for a decade or so in the way that Manchester United were themselves in the 1990s.
I just think with this United side, if they can get that midfield area sorted out, not too far away at all. Defence is pretty solid, the attack speaks for itself.
Bullard, now Chimbonda, Roberts. Kavanagh, oh, it was a real good effort from Graham Kavanagh.
Yeah, another snapshot, and he caught it as well as he could possibly have hoped. Well, a few of these efforts from that kind of distance, never troubling Van der Sar. Good strike though.
He was looking for his first Premiership goal for a decade there, Graham Kavanagh.
Yeah, he's due one.
He might be overdue one, but he's been a really intelligent presence throughout the season in the centre of that Wigan midfield. Giggs. Ronaldo to Rooney, and Giggs won't be able to get that one, I don't think. Shana just giving a bit of extra zip and pace to the centre of that Wigan defence tonight, which might be crucial against this opposition.
Doing pretty well defensively at the moment. Wigan is a new partnership between Shana and Desire. It always takes time. A couple of lads playing together.
Gary Neville to Ronaldo. Giggs. Sahar couldn't quite reach it, and Chimbonda did very well in the end. It was a nervy moment for him. He was very glad that just dropped at his feet and his goalkeeper was there.
That's a really good cross from Ryan Giggs. Gets up well, Sahar, but he's just a little bit too high. He's such a good climber. Louis Sahar couldn't manage that one. Chimbonda, good composure. For much more than that, 23% in Manchester United's final third. It's pretty good going. Tricky bit is keeping it up, of course, and getting that vital breakthrough as well.
Bullard helps it on. Here's Teal. Authentic right wing play from him. Chimbonda. Roberts shows himself well, and he's emerged with the ball as well here, Jason Roberts. Really good, tenacious defending.
Some great battles going on there, you know, Roberts and Wes Burn in particular. Just got the better of Wes Burn for a second. He lost his footing, the defender.
Shana has to go backwards. He's had a push by Neville on McCulloch.
Lee McCulloch had just got his body there in the way, and he knew he was in the right position. The arms out, he knows Neville's coming. He knew the foul was coming as well if he just stood his ground.
Bullard. Well, you can see what the idea was, didn't quite come off.
Jimmy Bullard thinking quickly. Trying to get it into the feet of Camera.
This is Kavanagh. This is Desailly. On by Teal. Camera was looking to break him behind Wes Brown. It's Kavanagh again! Oh, and again, he's pretty close. He's in the mood, all right, Graham Kavanagh.
Well, usually it's 1 in 100 of these kind of efforts go in, but he's in the mood for it, no doubt about that. Second effort, first one over, second one wide, both sweet strikes.
Shakes the head ruefully. Very good try. He's the energetic Bullard. Wigan showing again here, really, that their position in the table is no freak. The table is not lying. They're 10th at the moment, and they can go to 7th if they win. They've still got a chance of making the UEFA Cup. Good chance. Chimbonda was doing a bit of climbing on Sahar.
That's the problem you get there. Graham Kavanagh just knocked the ball away and he's already been booked.
Yes, he quickly went over to the referee, didn't he, to just have a little word, as if to say, didn't really mean it, ref. Neville. Cut out by Kavanagh. Can they break here? Wigan. Camera. Nice little reverse pass. He's picked up Jason Roberts. A lot of red shirts back though. Roberts uses his strength, holds onto it and gets in a fine effort. He really has been a revelation this season, Jason Roberts. That was a great piece of striking play from him.
Well, I think Van der Sar has had most of these long-range shots covered. I'm not sure he got this one. Good move between the two strikers, playing together well. If they would have been a bit lower, I don't think Van der Sar would have been able to get an arm to this one. A decent effort.
Well, there were people who were wondering whether he'd be able to cut it in the Premiership. He's got 13 goals this season.
Well, it's all one way at the moment, isn't it, on Wigan's side, but it's like getting to half-time goalless. You can only think there'll be more to come from United. They've been disappointing going forward.
Ronaldo off Leighton Baines, and for a United throw. There's half-time. Wigan certainly had the better of the argument in that first half. They came out full of fire, full of intensity, full of commitment. There were one or two near things, but United was steadfast in the main at the back. And they might have scored themselves had Rooney got the last ball right to Louis Sahar after Wigan had been unzipped. It's a fascinating clash here, different kind of clash than the Carling Cup final, and United, you sense, will really have to work if they want to get the win over Wigan this time. It's 0-0 at half-time.
Well, what a great response to that cup final defeat from Wigan this evening. The views of Mike Pollitt in a moment or two. Plenty of opportunities for the home side in the first 45 minutes. The best Wigan chance, a camera snapshot. Finished product just not quite as sharp as he'd hoped. Back in a couple of minutes. Football coming up for you on Sky Sports this weekend. Big London derby, Chelsea against Spurs. Significant for both sides. It's on Prem Plus from 12:30. And Blackburn still knocking at the European door at home to Aston Villa. 5 o'clock Prem Plus. The channel is 480. The telephone number's the same. 08705 160 160. Goalless at half-time here at the JJB Stadium. But will Wigan live to regret not taking some of the myriad of first-half chances that they've had against Manchester United? You always expect a side to dominate in United games, but you usually expect that side will be United. Hasn't been the case this evening. Terrific response from Paul Jewell's side after their 4-0 beating at the Millennium Stadium in the Carling Cup final. Mike Pollock, the Wigan goalkeeper, is with me, and Paul Jewell, famously, every game that his sides have been involved in against Manchester United, they've lost 4-0. Be a massive shock if they lose this one 4-0 now. He must be really pleased at how they've responded.
Yeah, I think he'll be delighted at half-time. I think he'll just tell the players to go out and carry on as you were. I mean, to 11 attempts to goal against Manchester United in 1.5 is fantastic, and we usually don't get over 90 minutes, so to do it in 45 is a tremendous achievement. But, you know, we need to put some balls in the nets now, and hopefully we can get a goal this half.
Suspect we may well see Ruud van Nistelrooy in the second half if things don't start to go a little better for the United's front player, particularly Louis Saha, who really tonight has been a little way off the pace. Strikes Ferguson with a bit to ponder then. Here's the second half. Let's rejoin our commentators, Alan Smith and Ian Dark.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. We were wondering if Ruud van Nistelrooy might even come on at half-time, but still no sign of him. So Alex Ferguson clearly has a point to make to the man who is the Premiership's top scorer, joint top scorer with 22 goals. Thierry Henry has joined him on that figure, though Van Nistelrooy has a couple more in the league. Not particularly happy by all accounts with his recent effort at Liverpool. It's still Saha and Rooney up front as United get underway at the start of the second half, and they'll be looking for an improvement.
Saha has been quiet, there's no doubt about that, but to be fair, the whole team in an attacking aspect has been below par, and so Alex Ferguson no doubt have pointed that out at half-time and demanded a little bit more commitment and an adventure going forward.
Park. Ricochet to Sylvestre, who was part of the France team. He was back in the side, but they lost at home to Slovakia in Paris the other night. Leighton Baines, the England under-21 international, the first player from Wigan to get such an accolade.
He's just caught his foot, maybe just bent it back when he went to clear that Gary Neville. The crowd enjoyed it.
It's been a rattling good effort so far, this, from Wigan Athletic. But Jeff Stelling posed the question there, will they live to rue those missed opportunities in the first half? Here's Roberts. Thiel's on the back post, but it's way too far for him or Henri Camara. Jason Roberts becomes the subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers in this first phase of the second half. Chimbonda. Roberts to Camara, back to Roberts again. The two strikers combining well. Roberts looks for a free kick around the edge of the box. He's not going to get one.
Well, again, it was really good play. If he indeed meant that little flick into Kamara's path, it was a beauty, but West Brown, not for the first time, standing in his way.
United have only won 2 of their last 9 away matches in all competitions. They have had their off days a few times this season when you think about the games at Middlesbrough, where they lost 4-1, the Manchester derby, the 3-1 defeat against City, 4-3 at Blackburn, and once or twice in Europe as well. Rooney having to chase, but Sharma is there first. It's a miscue from him. But he's settled in straight away, hasn't he, at Wigan Athletic, used in midfield, striker, and his usual position of central defence tonight. Neville inside to O'Shea. They've had to improvise a bit in midfield this season, Manchester United. No Roy Keane and no Paul Scholes for the rest of this season.
Well, I think that's where some of the problems are lying tonight. They can't get a grip of this game in midfield and give good service to the front men. Wigan are given as good as they get in that middle ground.
A lot of room out here for Gary Neville. Rooney's in there, and it's Rooney! Wonderful chance wasted. Wayne Rooney will be kicking himself about that one.
Well, he doesn't need telling, the player of Wayne Rooney's quality. Really good ball from Gary Neville. He rarely fails to deliver, and he's put it right on the spot for Wayne Rooney. There you go, finish that one. All he really needed to do was get that one down, get it on target, and you have to think from that distance he was going to beat John Filan.
Wigan must have feared the worst then. I'm sure Paul Jewell was thinking goal, but no. I'm sure Sir Alex was thinking goal as well.
Just a couple of instances now where we're not used to it, with Wayne Rooney, that misplaced pass into Louis Saha's path, and then that glaring error for me in front of goal. Normally so clinical.
This is Rio Ferdinand. Ronaldo. And typically Wigan pressing all over the pitch and biting in with the challenges. Not nearly the kind of open game that we saw in the Carling Cup final. O'Shea and towards Ronaldo. But where was the warning for Wigan, that last move, as we saw once or twice in the first half? You just get the feeling that every so often Manchester United will create a very, very good opportunity because of the amount of quality they have. Giggs on towards Zaha. Looking to turn that deflected. It will be a corner.
Well, they're working extremely hard, Wigan, to try and get tight to the creative forces of United.
Well, he's been unstoppable recently. Louis Saha, real return to form after all his injury problems since he joined United. And it's been a big bonus for Sir Alex Ferguson. How many managers could leave out Ruud van Nistelrooy? Ferdinand with the flick on. He got a bit too much on it, and it just sails over the bar. He was just looking for the flick on, really.
Oh, it's a disappointment. Even so, corner kick goes to waste. A good, strong side aerial. United got plenty of players that can attack the ball, as well as Ferdinand, Wes Brown, Silvestre. Louis Saha's very good in the air. John O'Shea.
And Rio got his first United goal, didn't he, against Wigan when the sides met at Old Trafford in December, after waiting 4.5 years as well. O'Shea. Difficult bounce for the goalkeeper, this one. Rooney was waiting just to see whether Filan might have spilt that.
Well, you could see Rooney closing down on him, so he's just tried to attack the ball a little bit too early, actually, and the bounce very nearly did him.
Park. Rooney. Zaha. Ronaldo. This might fall to Park. And Chimbonda is there for Wigan Athletic. Just a bit more business-like, you feel, Manchester United at the start of the second half. Looks like the manager had more than a word.
Well, that's what he's there for. And it was below par the first 45 minutes. You expect more from this Manchester United side with the players who've got out here tonight. Been a definite response.
Kavanagh won it back. Camera develops the attack. He's only got Roberts for company at the moment up there. And it's Rooney who comes back and gets a foot in. Here's Park. Better spell for Manchester United. Sahar. Blocked again by the hard-working Kavanagh, who got a foot in too. He's having a terrific game in that midfield at the moment for Wigan Athletic. Graham Kavanagh tonight, and Bullard working as hard as ever. But Manchester United exerting more influence. This is Giggs. Sharna didn't realise, McCulloch rather, that he had that kind of room.
He did well, Sharna, actually. McCulloch, well, they got physical contact on Wayne Rooney. Just blocked his run.
Sahar. Looked like he wanted to get up again, but the free kick will go his way.
He's got such quick feet, Sahar. He can stop it and move it very quickly indeed, and that's what got Graham Kavanagh a booking in the first half, and it's what gets Paul Sharna one as well in the second. Always feel sorry for players when they do get cautioned for that, because it's a genuine attempt at the ball. It's just the skill of the opponent that does for them.
Third Wigan booking of the night. Giggs. Flicked on by John O'Shea. Sylvester wins it in the air. Park gets the free kick. United want to keep the tempo of the attack going. Rooney took it quickly, finds Gary Neville. And it's Ronaldo. Just about the 6 step-overs, and the free kick is given for that. Wigan not too happy about that. They thought that Ronaldo was rather looking for it.
Well, they might have had a point. Lee McCulloch had already got one challenge in further infield. It's the arm across that draws the foul. A good chance to swing one in. They haven't made the best of these kind of set-piece opportunities, Manchester United, up to now.
It's the old firm, Giggs and Ronaldo hovering over it. This time it's Giggs. And in the end, it's pretty harmless, in all honesty.
Well, it never looked dangerous, did it? Never looked dangerous, neither O'Shea or Sylvester could get anywhere near this. Chimbonda does his job on that far stick, sees it out.
Play on, says the referee, and Bullard knocks that into the channel, hoping that camera can make something of it. Zeo, the winner, in the air there. Baines. Roberts. He's got it as well, Jason Roberts. And Giggs is back there helping out his defence.
They started with so much energy and purpose, the two strikers for Wigan, and it's difficult keeping that going right throughout, but they've got to if they possibly can. They need the ball up quickly to them.
Fascinatingly poised here at the JJB. Wigan won the first half. Manchester United started fast in the second, but that's a miscue from Wes Brown. Corner kick.
Hasn't made many mistakes, Wes Brown, so far. Probably the first.
Here's the corner. Desailly's header off the line by Ryan Giggs, and then Roberts, and then in by McCulloch. Sharna was it who put it over the line in the end? It was Sharna who scored for Wigan Athletic. What a moment for Wigan and the crowd here in absolute ecstasy.
Well, just when you think the game's died for Wigan, when they've stopped creating chances, making a nuisance of themselves, it all comes from that jump from De Gea. At that point, Ryan Giggs, I think, has done enough, but they get that little bit of luck. They've got bodies in and around that 6-yard box where Manchester United haven't. Look at the red shirts just in front, but nobody's picking up Shana just in front of goal for the simplest of chances. Thank you very much. He might not have thought it was coming.
De Gea cuts it out at the other end. Well, that's really shaken things up here. Can Manchester United respond to that? Now here's Jason Roberts. Gets the better of Wes Brown. Finds Henri Camara. Bullard's over there. Thiel's waiting in the middle. Camara's waiting in the middle as well. Looks quite open. Roberts, low and hard. And Van der Sar falls on it.
Well, certainly made a game of it. The match had just fallen into a pattern, hadn't it, in this opening spell of the second half, but that'll draw Manchester United out now. Give them the kick up the backside perhaps they needed.
O'Shea plays it forward. Park. And so often the way the stats prove it that the first goal usually means winning side. And Wigan are ahead. Neither of these sides has lost after scoring the first goal this season. Lee McCulloch. Giggs getting back to dispossess Henri Camara. Now it's Rooney. Gary Neville into Louis Saha. Back to Neville again. Blocked by Baines. Manchester United looking to build up a real head of steam here. This falls for O'Shea. Now it's Ronaldo. Back in towards Rooney again, and an important head on it from Shana just to nick it away.
Well, it wasn't half important as well. He was attempting ball played into the middle there. And he didn't know what was behind him. He knew he had to get a touch. They're going to expect a period of pressure now, Wigan.
Giggs.
You can see the urgency, can't you, that's been injected into this Manchester United side, and it won't be too long. The score stays the same, and this man makes an appearance.
Might be sooner rather than later as O'Shea plays this in towards Rooney. He was just put under enough pressure from Chimbonda not to bring that down and finish. McCulloch plays this long towards Henri Camara. This is a terrifically poised game here. It's had a real edge about it right from the word go tonight. Giggs to Rooney. It was a lovely ball. And Ariane De Gea did very well. He played a couple of times and was at the centre of some famous Portsmouth wins over Manchester United in their earlier days in the Premiership. Now then, Saha, Gary Neville will be disappointed by that. There were other options.
No, I think it was one of those where he was caught in two minds here. It was in the kind of position where he could have just drilled it goalwards and see what came of it. In the end, it's a tentative side foot, trying to get it across goal. He's seen his side pretty dominant, hasn't he, for the most part of this game. Jason Roberts just in front of Van der Sar gets the first touch. Shana gets the vital one. Disappointing for United that De Gea wins that initial header above Rio Ferdinand. Sometimes they break for you, sometimes they don't.
It's the first time Wigan Athletic have ever scored against Manchester United in their history. And that includes a meeting in what used to be the Lancashire Cup when Manchester United came here as well and won 3-0. Such a different story from the Carling Cup final. Wigan want revenge. Plenty of work to do yet, but at the moment they're in the driving seat. Louis Sahar. Ryan Giggs has made a run down the left-hand side. Here he is. Rooney's come to the near post. Giggs doesn't deliver, and Chimbonda does some very, very good work indeed. Giggs wanted a free kick. The referee was close and said he saw nothing wrong.
Well, a few questions asked, weren't there, in the Millennium Stadium about Wigan's defensive capabilities, but it's a sterling show so far tonight. All four of that defence really playing brilliantly, and that's with a new member in Shana disrupting that Deseu-Oncho partnership that served the team so well. Question of concentration now. They don't want to make it too much of an open game, Wigan, but it's not in their nature to shut up shop. And they're going for the second.
Foul by Sylvestre on Teal. And Giggs needs a bit of treatment here as well.
Just a question of when he makes the move. A glance at the watch, you can see he's itching to make some kind of a change, and it's no prizes for guessing who it'll be.
He's waiting, but so far it seems the call hasn't come. Ruud van Nistelrooy just shoots a glance towards his manager. Bullard meanwhile and towards Edwin van der Sar. But Manchester United here might have been a little bit surprised by the level of Wigan's intensity tonight. They've kind of run into a bit of a whirlwind.
No, they shouldn't have been surprised. I'm sure their manager would have told them to expect it. He knows what kind of side Paul Jewell's got here. It's a very proud one.
This is Ronaldo. Sylvestre. Kavanagh's there again in front of his defence. He wanted to carry on with the ball, but Chimbonda just got a foot in.
That's what they don't want to do, concede free kicks in those kind of areas. United just as capable of getting ahead to the ball in the way that Wigan did from the earlier corner and getting the goal back. He's in the goal-scoring mood, Leo.
Sylvestre's come forward. O'Shea with his aerial prowess, and Rio Ferdinand as well. And it's Sylvestre who got there as well with the header. Deseu got it away. And maybe something here on the counter for Wigan. Very, very strong, isn't he? Roberts on towards camera. This is Leighton Baines on this side. Bullard is the initial target in the middle. Again, Wigan win the ball back with Henri Camara. Remember, Paul Jewell has lost 4-0 every time his sides have faced Sir Alex Ferguson. That's 4 times, twice with Bradford, twice with Wigan. Different story tonight, so far anyway. Roberts, can he get the better of Wes Brown? Pushing, shoving, a bit too much of it, says the referee, and United get the free kick.
Well, he is such a handful. Seen him have some joy against the Arsenal centre-halves, but no surprise that move is going to be made.
And we just wonder whether Manchester United might actually play with 3 up and take off one of the midfield players. We'll see. O'Shea, Sahar, and he couldn't quite control it. And Schärner brings it away. He's already scored 3 goals since he arrived in January from Norwegian football. And Giggs gets a yellow card.
Well, I've got a feeling that was for dissent rather than for the foul. Schärner, great energy bursting out of his own penalty area. Doesn't get the ball, Giggsy, and has a go at the ref, and I think that's why the yellow card came.
Birmingham wanted Schärner as well, didn't they? Baines plays it in. It's away by Wes Brown. Chimbonda. Well, this game reminds you of the fairly torrid examination that Wigan gave to Chelsea on the opening day of the season. They ended up losing that game in the last minute, a bit unluckily, but tonight they are ahead against Manchester United.
Yeah, well, that's the difference. They've scored tonight, of course, and they've got something to defend, and they're doing it very well at the moment.
Well, it is going to be one of the midfield quartet who comes off, namely Ji-sung Park and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Apparently out of favour lately. Well, definitely out of favour lately. Comes on. He didn't come on, of course, in the Carling Cup final.
Well, just going to get Wayne Rooney to drop into the midfield area and be a font of ideas from there. That's the plan. Van Nistelrooy up front with Sahar.
Ronaldo. Well, they think that was a corner. Ruud van Nistelrooy is appealing that deflected behind for a corner, but the officials say no, stayed in play. Play on, says the referee. And O'Shea gets it back to his goalkeeper. Inside the last 20 minutes now. There's a foot up there, stud showing from Sahar.
Well, there's a bit of both. The head was down and the foot was up. And well, second time in a couple of minutes. Is he going to produce the card for a little bit of dissent? Don't think so this time.
You're right, Alan. Yep, no yellow for Sahar.
Yeah, he's ducking a little bit. The knee came up as well, didn't it, from Sahar?
Did actually take the boot away, didn't he, at the last minute? Chimbonda. That's brilliantly kept in play by Chimbonda. I'm not sure how he did that, but he did. Really athletic. But here come United. There's room. It's Ronaldo. It's Van Nistelrooy. And it's Ronaldo, and it's 1-1. Manchester United are level. And Ronaldo continues his hot streak of goal scoring.
Well, how's your luck? How's your luck if you're a Wigan player? Because just when you're expecting Ruud van Nistelrooy to pull the trigger and to test the goalkeeper, he miskicks it. And he miskicks it straight into the path of Cristiano Ronaldo. But they are so dangerous from these positions on the counter. He picks out the pass, Ronaldo, and he continues his run, but, well, that's probably a reflection of his mood at the moment. Van Nistelrooy, he doesn't get anywhere near a clear contact, but he does the job. That's the first effort on target for United, and it's the one and only goal so far. Does well to anticipate Ronaldo. Finishes comfortably. and Sir Alex will feel that the substitution has done the trick. Van Nistelrooy's assist, not quite how he envisaged, but done the trick all the same. Scored a lot of goals, and he's got one more assist now to his name.
And Ronaldo has 5 goals in his last 3 Premiership outings. Relief for Manchester United. And it's Pascal Chimbonda who's down in the centre circle here. He's still down as well, Chimbonda. Looks in some pain. Here's what happened.
I think he's fallen awkwardly, hasn't he? That's the problem. Got up so high.
He landed badly on that shoulder.
Well, he caught one in the mouth. Ryan Giggs earlier on. That tussle with Chimbonda. And the elbow comes in, and that's what did the damage.
Well,
I think he's just wrestling to try and get his arm away, Chimbonda, but it was certainly high and caught the winger.
did look a bit naughty, didn't it, that, from Chimbonda?
It's been a funny one, really, because both goals have come out of nothing when neither side looked like scoring. United, as I say, first shot on target, and it came from a missed kick from Van Nistelrooy.
But within minutes of coming on, Manchester United do have a goal, and now they'll want more. They'll want all 3 points to really put the pressure in that race for second place on Liverpool. I think everybody accepts now that Chelsea are surely out of sight. 18 points clear of Manchester United at the start of play. 17 ahead of Liverpool.
Well, they'll keep pushing forward. Wigan, no doubt about that. They were before the goal. It's the only way they know, but they've just got to lift themselves, make sure they don't give away anything silly now in the immediate aftermath of that equaliser. Just calm things down again.
Looked like a foul, didn't it, on Henri Camara, but Steve Bennett, the referee, had a close look at it, and he saw nothing wrong with Ferdinand's challenge. Chimbonda, nice one too, that with Teal. Into the danger zone, it nearly fell for Camara in space, waiting behind. Important, really, that Shana did cut that out.
Well, even if they don't win tonight or get anything out of this match, it'll be a good piece of therapy for Wigan, for them to kick on now, because it's been a really good, solid 5-run display.
Lee McCulloch goes down. This is a free kick in a dangerous position.
Well, it is, isn't it? Centre of the goal. 23 yards out, something like that. Didn't need much encouragement, Lee McCulloch, to be fair, to go down the slightest of touches from John O'Shea. I don't know where Steve Bennett's telling them to put the ball. It looked a little bit closer than that.
It's a nice kind of range, and they've got 1 or 2 natty free kick routines that we've seen this season as well, Wigan. 1 or 2 tales of the unexpected. This might be something a bit more conventional. Let's see. It is Bullard, and it was always too high. Way too high, in all honesty.
Yeah, he always fancied the shot, didn't he? Well, this is the goal, and the substitute does have a very big part to play in it. with a pulled shot that finds his man perfectly. Give credit to Ronaldo for anticipating it.
And once again, he was in the right place. Now then, only camera. Couldn't quite get his left foot shot away, and it's a goal kick for the miscue. Topically enough, Ruud van Nistelrooy is the subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Has he got a goal in him tonight? Pretty often has. Oh, that was an important header on by Roberts to camera. Offside, that must have been very, very close.
Well, it was. And Rio Ferdinand glanced across straight away, praying that the flag was going to go up. And I think he's just got it right. The assistant just about got it right.
Shana with a towering header. Did play against England in the World Cup qualifier earlier on this season. Gave away a penalty in that game. This is Ryan Giggs. Gary Neville trying to find Ronaldo. There wasn't a gap to get that ball through in the end. Ronaldo is just caught late, and McCulloch is going to get a yellow card for that.
Well, he accepts that. You're always risking it when you're going in behind and going to ground, particularly against a player like Ronaldo who's got such quick feet.
Ref wants the play pulled back here. He wasn't ready for that to be taken. United going to steal this from under Wigan's noses. Giggs plays it in. Desailly gets it away. Gary Teal. Rooney is quick enough.
Well, he's done a fair bit of that today, Wayne Rooney. It's been a quiet time for him going forward, but he's mucked in when it comes to his defensive duties. He's going to have to do a lot more now in that middle ground. Now he's dropped back.
Anywhere, yeah, exactly. I get the feeling he'd be a pretty good player wherever you played him.
He'd enjoy it anywhere as well.
And he'd be having a kick about in the street, wouldn't he, if he wasn't playing professional football tonight?
He's so elusive, Ronaldo, and he's got those kind of tricks in his locker.
Here's Brown back in the England shake-up in the squad for that Uruguay game. He didn't play. Giggs onto Van Nistelrooy here. It's still Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Wigan get it only to Giggs though. His shot is blocked this time. Sylvestre was rather off balance, just about reached it. O'Shea. Here's Van Nistelrooy. Some tired limbs out there. Now the game might get a bit more stretched, and there's always maybe something on the break here. It's Roberts. Play was allowed to go on.
Oh, he just had a chance to nudge it sideways to camera. I don't think the ball was the right side. Rio Ferdinand complaining it was a foul, and there was a bit of physical contact.
John O'Shea is the latest to go into Steve Bennett's notebook. It's a burgeoning notebook for dissent, we think.
Well, it can only be for dissent, you think.
It's a great ball in by Pollard. United have to concede the corner.
Just does enough there, Roberts, to put Ferdinand off. Looked like a foul in fairness to the defender. Knocked him off balance just as he's about to head clear.
Here comes the corner. Desailly with the header, and he kicks the turf in frustration at not keeping that down and scoring.
He must be one of the best in the Premiership at attacking corners and getting his head there. He's done it countless times this season, you know, Desailly. He's created the goal and very nearly helped himself to another one. He's kicking himself. It was a good chance.
Hasn't scored this season, a bit surprisingly, Ariane Deseo. His last goal was in the South Coast derby for Portsmouth against Southampton last season.
Well, still leading comfortably on those attempts, Wigan.
Six minutes remaining. 1-1 here in what's been a very entertaining game at the JJB tonight. Patrice Evra replaces Mikhail Sylvestre. Left back for left back. Shana. Up towards McCulloch. Ferdinand got it away from him. No way is either side settling for the 1 point here, you feel?
Well, he's kept going tonight, but although he tends to get booed whatever ground he goes to these days, which is a shame in many ways for such a great talent. He showed a lot of persistence. Caused much more problems in this second half than he did in the first.
Ferdinand hit long and straight. Sahar on towards Rooney. Chimbonda does enough. Rooney goes down. Looks for a penalty, but it did not look like one at first viewing.
Well, again, it's another good example of clever defending, of players tracking the run. And he just eases Wayne Rooney out. Pascal Chimbonda.
And now Gary Neville is in the book.
The old notebook's been busy tonight, hasn't it? Steve Bennett.
7 yellow cards, we reckon, so far tonight. Deseu, Shana, Kavanagh, McCulloch, and then Gary Neville, O'Shea and Giggs for Manchester United.
Well, there was a definite arm into the face from Gary Neville.
Roberts has got to go off the pitch and then come back on again. Meanwhile, here's the free kick. He's still waiting to come on, Roberts. Now he can. It's cracked by Kavanagh, but it's cracked a long way wide. Sharma took a knock to the head and goes down. 23,500 here tonight. Now then, was it a penalty, this challenge on Wayne Rooney? What do you think, Alan?
He's running from deep from that midfield position. Not for me, not for me. I think that's good defending. And he's just ushered his man aside. OK, the right arm comes into the player, but that's good defending, and it's been the reflection of how well they have guarded the goal all night, Wigan, apart from that one moment. A bit of bad luck on their part.
Reto Ziegler waiting to be introduced by Wigan late on here. Neville's header away. There's Rooney being deployed in midfield now, but he's given it to Wigan here in the shape of Chimbonda, then Bullard. Instinctive ball. Malcolm MacDonald saying in a newspaper article that Jimmy Bullard should be in the England World Cup squad. In an article I read in the Manchester paper. McCulloch comes off. He's done well to get this match action in. He's not had too much of it lately after that hernia operation. And Reto Ziegler will go up onto the left-hand side, the young man who was voted Spurs Young Player of the Year last year. He's on loan here.
It's been one of those Wigan performances where you couldn't really pinpoint one player that hasn't played really well. They've all done the job and contributed to a great team performance, but it's been a cracking game, hasn't it? It really has. And Wigan have dominated it for large parts. They'll be really pleased about that. Less pleased that they're not going to get the three, or if they don't get the 3 points, less pleased about that. But performance-wise, they can take a great deal of heart from tonight after that Cardiff thrashing.
United, by their own high attacking standards, haven't created an awful lot, and Wigan may feel that they're worth all 3 points from this. Typically, United come up with a goal, don't they, Alan?
Well, they've got such quality going forward. When it comes to that possession thing, Wigan dominate, and I do think a lot of it is owed to United's weakness in midfield. They can't really stamp their authority on the middle ground and take a game by the scruff of the neck. Can always win a game. Such quality going forward.
Sahar, challenged by Baines, and here comes another yellow card. He's going to need a couple of new pencils in the morning, I think, Steve Bennett. Nearly half the outfield players have gone in the book. 3 minutes of added time. 8 bookings, I make it. I might have missed one somewhere, though. There have been so many. We're in stoppage time. Giggs. Goalkeeper comes, gets the punch on it. Now then, Bullard. Not much on for him, but he does find the only available player, which is Camara, and Gary Neville did very well. Just got his body across and made sure that Van der Sar was the winner.
Just wanted a little bit earlier, Henri Camara, and when he did come to him, he had his back to goal, difficult to get into his stride.
Neville. Ronaldo still being booed by the crowd. Does find O'Shea, who couldn't quite reach for it. Bullard. Now the paying customers are going to want their money back from this one tonight. Rooney, peach of a ball. Baines couldn't quite reach it, and Van Nistelrooy to Ronaldo, and then Sahar. It's Louis Sahar. Can he win it for United? Off the underside of the bar and in, off Chimbonda for an own goal, and Manchester United surely get the win right at the death.
Well, they say football can be a cruel game. Well, it doesn't get much crueler than this, does it? United, so dangerous in these dying seconds. You could just sense it, but nobody deserves, in a tussle like we've seen tonight, to score an own goal like that, to really give the visitors all 3 points. It looks that way. He's right under his own crossbar, and he just can't react quickly enough. Pascal Chimbonda. A cruel, cruel body blow for this Wigan side. It really is, after the effort they've put in. We're just talking about United's ability going forward. So dangerous, never give up. And there's your result. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to come away from here with 3 points, but it looks that way now.
64 years old and dancing around as if he's about 16, Sir Alex Ferguson. It's a heartbreaker for Wigan, who've given so much tonight. Ziegler, Kavanagh. I'm sure Wigan and their fans will regard this as a bit of floodlight robbery, but Manchester United are so clinical. Here's Evra. They're nearly there. Manchester United are going to go 2 points ahead of Liverpool if it stays like this, with a game in hand of them as well. Away by Rooney, doesn't care where much. We've had 3.5 minutes. It was supposed to be a minimum of 3. Of course, there was the goal in the stoppage time. Kavanagh. Ziegler. backs it away. And there's the final whistle. Manchester United, in very improbable circumstances, get the win. An own goal in stoppage time by Pascal Chimbonda. Wigan beaten again for the second time in 8 days and the third time this season by Manchester United. But in all honesty, they did not deserve that fate after Paul Schana had given them the lead. But then United stole it. Cristiano Ronaldo scored again, and then Chimbonda could do nothing about it as it bounced down from the woodwork into him and over the line. It's a sickener, an absolute sickener for Wigan. But United continue their good run in the Premiership. Third successive win, back into second place. Wigan 1, Manchester United 2.
Absolutely incredible finish. There's their tormentor-in-chief, really. Ronaldo took a lot of hammer during the course of the evening, but he and the Manchester United fans leave the JJB triumphant. And it has been a defeat in many ways every bit as painful for Wigan as the one at the Millennium Stadium 8 days ago. United on a fabulous run, though. This is how the top of the table looks. They've reclaimed second spot from Liverpool. 2 points clear. Close the gap to 15 with Chelsea. 2 points clear of Liverpool, and they have a game in hand. Wigan remain in 10th place in the table. It's another Champions League week, of course, on Sky Sports. Tomorrow we have Juventus against Werder Bremen live on Sky Sports 2 at 7:30. And on Wednesday, Arsenal and Liverpool both in action. Arsenal against Real Madrid at Highbury, 6 o'clock. Sky Sports 1, Liverpool against Benfica. Sky Sports 2, 7:30. You can see the other two matches live as well if you wish to do so. What a finish. I'm not sure Mike Pollock will be able to find the words to describe his feelings when we come back in a couple of minutes after United's smash and grab raid. Wigan will be delighted. That's the last they see of Manchester United this soon. United snatch it at the death, and the misery is self-inflicted. They cannot believe what they have just witnessed at the JJB. Wigan fans stunned, gobsmacked by Manchester United's late winning goal here. Top of the table looks like this. Manchester United up to second, 15 adrift of Chelsea, but 2 ahead of Liverpool with a game in hand. Wigan stay in 10th spot. The man of the match is Wes Brown. He and Gary Neville are both talking with Bryn Law.
Well, Gary, that could be a very big 3 points for you, couldn't it?
Well, it was. You know, it was an extremely hard game for us. It was a battle, and they made us work really hard, but we played a lot better second half. First half, they were on top.
And when the way you won it was dramatic, but I suppose you got that reward ultimately, did you?
We did, and it's the best way to win a football match because there's no comeback from it, and we battled well. You know, they got a goal up, and we thought it was going to be very difficult, but we actually started to play then. It kicked us into life, and you know, the 2 lads at the back had to defend all night against those 2 lads, and you're never going to get a harder game than those 2 up front. They run you into the ground.
So were you fortunate to win it, perhaps?
I think so. The way that you win that at the end, I mean, you know, you've got to be realistic and think that Wigan, with the effort that they put into the match and the chances that, you know, they had and the way that they performed, they were unlucky. But, you know, we've got to take anything that comes our way. We've had our own disappointments.
Yes, Wes, as Gary's mentioned there, for you at the back, it was a particularly tough evening, wasn't it, against those 2 strikers?
It was very difficult. You know, they made it hard for us all night. As Gaz said, you know, they put a lot of pressure on us. They scored a goal, early goal. But, you know, we've kept focus and we've kept on going, and eventually got the win in the end, which is, you know, a good performance from us considering the conditions and the way they play.
Yeah, the manager talked before the game about the race for second place, and you're back in that position again now, aren't you?
Yeah, it was a big win for us. We needed that. We knew it was going to be difficult, but we're just glad we've come through with it now and we can carry on.
Well, Wes, you are the Barclays Premiership man of the match, and Gary, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours, please. Well done. Thank you.
Well, United beat Wigan yet again, and in its own way, Mike Pollock, this every bit as painful as the Cardiff defeat.
Yeah, I mean, the lads have been absolutely fantastic tonight. I mean, they put a great deal of effort into the game, and I think they've been disappointed to draw the game, never mind lose it. I mean, the man had just lost it there in the last minute. I mean, it's very disappointing, but Manchester United, they're a good side and they take the chances.
Manchester United have had one shot on target and scored twice. How about that for a statistic? The winning goal and own goal, I mean, you just don't get any unluckier than this, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sahar just got a shot in, took a deflection off Paul Sharner and hit the bar, and it's come out to Pascal, and there's not a really great deal they can do about it. It's just come back and it's just so quick. I think if he'd have missed it, I think, can't see who's behind him, I think it's Giggs there's behind him who would have knocked it in, so it's such a heartbreak, but it's a cruel game, and you know, the lads a bit severe.
Not cruel as far as Sir Alex is concerned, as you can see. It's made it clear how important it is that Manchester United finish in second place, and Carlos Queiroz and Wayne Rooney and Sir Alex Ferguson all celebrating together. Let's hear from the Manchester United manager right now. He's with Bryn Law.
Sir Alex, that's a very big victory for you this evening, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a very important one, and I don't think we've had a harder game away from home this season. I thought Wigan were absolutely brilliant. The game made us really have to work hard and fight hard, and I think at the end of the day we've had a bit of luck.
You've just watched the winning goal. It was a large slice of luck, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of these unfortunate things for the defender, you know, that it's come right down top of him, and I don't think he could have done much about it, but it's just unlucky.
There must have been a long period in the game when you were worried on the touchline, wasn't there?
First half we were poor. We were defended badly, and we're lucky to come in 0-0, and I thought coming in at half time we could point a few things out, sort a few things out and get on with it. I had a great chance just after half time when Wayne had a clear header. Maybe I would have settled us down, but they just kept coming at us, and they deserved to be in front of them. I think the one thing about it is that after they scored we started to play, and for 20 minutes I thought we did really well, but it looked as if it was petering out for a draw, and as decided to have a gamble anyway, putting Wayne into midfield and have a go, and because the draw, although it would have been a good result in terms of the way Wigan played, a win was far more important to us.
And in the race for second place that you've talked about, you're back in there.
Yes, well, as I say, I don't think we'll get a harder game away from home. We haven't had this season anyway, I can assure you. They were absolutely terrific today with Wigan, and I don't think they deserved that result.
Thanks, Sir Alex.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, he's told it precisely as it is, because we've already talked about the misfortune of the winning goal, but there's a big element of misfortune as well about the equalising goal. Ruud van Nistelrooy has been brought on, but this was no way intended to be a cross, was it?
That's right, yeah. I think the ball's played out wide to Van Nistelrooy, and I think he's gone for goal, to be honest, and he's mishit it and he's scored it. Unfortunately for ourselves, he's gone to Ronaldo and he's managed to tap it in. You can see there he's just gone to smash the ball towards goal and completely mishit it, and it's just rolled into Ronaldo, and he's not going to miss from there.
But in a sense, they have got their reward for gambling by putting on Van Nistelrooy and taking off a midfield player. That's
right, yeah. They pushed forward. Putting Van Nistelrooy on, it was all going out because obviously they're losing. There were 20 minutes to go, and they sort of went for it. But it was meant to be. I think when Van Nistelrooy came on, it was always going to be dangerous for ourselves, and you know, we just managed to not be able to hang on at the end. But it was disappointing. But we've just got to get the positives out of here tonight. We've done ever so well, and we've got to move on now and try and get a result next week.
Your gaffer is waiting to talk to us. Let's hear from Paul Jewell. Here he is with Bryn.
Well, Paul, the point has been made in the studio. That's got to hurt more than any previous results against Manchester United, hasn't it?
No, not really. I mean, it's difficult to take because they scored so late, but, you know, the defeat last week hurt more because we didn't really give them a game. Today, the lads did themselves proud. We bounced back in a big way. Unfortunately, late luck was just a bit against us tonight, but that'll even itself out over 38 games, in my opinion. Can't ask for no more effort from them, and I think, you know, we've pushed United all the way tonight.
But for long periods, you'd have been disappointed with the draw, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think first half we were terrific, really. You know, we worked hard on trying to stop them playing. Something we probably didn't do well enough last week. Played a high tempo, played some good football. We get a goal in front, and against a team like Man United, you're never comfortable at 1-0. And in a way, you know, it's a lesson that we have to learn. Against Chelsea, we had chances to break when it was 0-0. A couple of chances tonight to break at 1-1. We didn't quite make it the most of it, and they scored you know, a bit of epoxy goal really at the end.
Another big night here, another big atmosphere here. You are learning the lessons, aren't you?
Oh, we have to. You know, I mean, don't want people to feel sorry for us. We want to win games, and But you know, we've come a long way in a short space of time, and I'm stood here now. I'm sick for the players, I'm sick for the supporters, because we've pushed Manchester United. You know, they're second in the league right to the end, and you can see the way they celebrated at the end. That they knew they probably got out of jail, but you know, the best teams always get the luckiest.
Thanks, Paul.
Well, clearly disappointed, but proud at the same time. It was ironic, wasn't it, in some respects, Mike, that the Wigan goal involved two of the outstanding Wigan players on the night, Ian Dazou and the scorer Paul Sharner.
Yeah, I mean, he's always a threat at set pieces, Arian, and you know, he's got the header in again. Unfortunately, it's got clear off the line. He's come to Jason, it's been blocked again. Unfortunately, it's just run to Paul Sharner, who's tucked it away. And I thought we'd go on from there. I thought we were. I mean, United came into it at the beginning of the second half, and we got the goal. And we thought we might kick on, but it wasn't to be.
Mike, thanks for your company. Will you be back this season?
Yeah, hopefully. I've got a scan tomorrow, so hopefully back in training next week, hopefully.
Very best of luck to you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Let's tell you about